Breaky says I'm a big Herman fan. Yeah, we've Hype Train complete, by the way, at level 2. Thank you for the subs and the bits, everybody. We've had some people kind of let me know that they're fans of Herman, enjoy watching him play. I am too. I like watching Herman play. I like playing against Herman. Plays so tight. Urza Saga on the left for Ed. There's a Nethergoyf on the table. Watery Grave, of course, not a budget choice here. This is Death Shadow, trying to do some damage to ourselves. Watery Grave helps with that. That's a Ponder for Herman. Wasteland fired off on Saga. Really good start for Herman here. Attacking for 2 and passing the turn.
There are worlds where you like keep that on 5.
Yeah,
Did you end up knowing that crew of Mystic Forest players?
I've like interacted with them and played with them before.
Looks like there's a Shadow in Herman's hand, a little bit far from playing them and have them stay on the table. Painter's Servant, getting dazed. There is a Lotus Petal that can be sacked to pay for it, though. Herman giving Ed that option. You want a painter, you got to sack that petal.
Is like pretty modern. But like with Legacy,
It looks like Ed's going to say you got a deal. Well, okay. Surprisingly, Painter's countered. Need that petal. Nethergoyf now with 3 power. Wasteland on the Tomb. This game's going really well for Herman. Attacking for 3. Drops Ed to 13. Watery Grave is in hand. Ed finds a basic mountain. Fury pitching Goblin Engineer. Okay, Nethergoyf is destroyed. Yeah, Nethergoyf only counts your own graveyard. People forget that sometimes.
Shock it down. Go.
Five cards in hand for Herman. Good looking out, Alexander. No worries. Here's a Brainstorm for Herman now. Ed with just 2 basic mountains. A sad Painter Servant sitting in the graveyard. That Lotus Petal apparently was really valuable, but unsure why at this point. It's Arena of Glory. One of the cool cards from MH3. We were talking about MH3 earlier. Ensnaring Bridge. That might be a problem for Herman. That's going to be tough to beat.
and then fetches a Surveil.
Potentially.
Yeah, so basically, the surveillance trigger will go off first. And then I'll bring
Herman fetches up an Underground Sea. Going to be trying to figure out how to beat this Ensnaring Bridge. 2 cards in Ed's hand. No creatures on the table for Herman. Just passing the turn. Snaring Bridge allows the Painter deck when we get into the later game to kind of grind all the attacking to a halt and leave their win con of Painter Servant combo as the only possible way to win. At least that's the idea. Thoughtseize fired off. Pyroblast and Lightning Bolt. Pyroblast will be selected. Pyroblast would be a way to stop Herman's attempts at removing Ensnaring Bridge. Most likely the way Herman's going to beat this thing, if he is going to bounce it and then attack. Watery Grave drops Herman to 10. Maybe we'll start seeing some Death Shadows. There is a Bolt in hand for Ed, which is a bit scary. I mean, when you're a Death Shadow player, at least in Modern and Legacy's past, Lightning Bolt is a card you're scared of. when you're getting late in the game. You do have to be careful with your life total.
You just feel like you got it.
Ed feeling like maybe you got this one. Only one card in hand, though. Herman can't attack. It's a 3/3 shadow.
Alright, I'd like to portable hole your...
Okay, another shadow. They both cannot attack. Snaring Bridge doing its job. Ed just keeps playing lands.
Brainstorm. And tap this wasteland for us.
Just like a street race. Yep.
Okay, Cycling Street Wraith. 28. Ponder. If Herman finds a way to bounce Ensnaring Bridge, these two shadows can potentially attack for lethal. Ed with just one card in hand, it's Lightning Bolt. As long as Herman stays above 3 life, seems like he's okay for now. 3 mana. Escaping the Nethergoyf.
2, 3, 4. Is a 3, 4. And I can attack, so pass.
Okay, managed to still have a 3-power Nethergoyf after escaping it. It does count types in your own graveyard. 2 cards in hand for Ed. The attackers are held off for another turn, it seems. Herman just hoping to draw a bounce spell is my guess.
Has another one.
Okay, another Nethergoyf. Herman removed their only creature in the graveyard? Okay. Painter.
Yes, for free. Okay.
And Grindstone. Okay.
Yep.
I'm going to try to mark down.
You don't need that one. So you take 2.
Yep.
Target me, I'm assuming. Oh,
Okay, servant. Color's black.
Okay, Herman had the removal for Painter Servant. Combo fails. The Nethergoyfs grow. Ed came close just now. Managed to draw both. Painter Servant and Grindstone. And attempt to combo. Yeah, Herman can also reanimate a welder and weld the bridge, but the bolt is a problem.
Come stay.
Herman's at 8, so still has some. Even a double bolt won't end this game. Still has some safety.
And
nicely separated.
oh,
Yeah.
The 5s versus the 4s.
and then trigger.
Give me 1 second.
Obviously, plenty of power on Herman's side. Herman just trying to close this out by getting rid of that bridge. Gonna keep cantripping. Ponder. Look like a Force of Will and 2 lands. That's a Ponder Shuffle. I just saw a Brazen Borrower. I think, in the shuffle. So it's in there somewhere. Probably just a one of, is my guess. Look like Herman drew a Reanimate. Plays a basic swamp, passes the turn. End step Grindstone activation.
It counts on the other side too.
Now 3 cards in hand for Ed. That's about as far as we can go. Have to start emptying the hand.
I've had people kind of run into that trap.
Twist. Okay. No.
Phyrexian Dragon Engine. 2 cards in hand. Okay. Another Ponder for Herman. Look like double force in a land. Gonna shuffle. Looking for that Brazen Borrower, I think.
For that one Brazen Borrower.
Brian against the middle of the foot.
Two? Exactly 2. Okay, another painter also. I'll pass.
Let's
Herman trying to figure this out. The Brazen Borrower just hasn't been found yet. That Lightning Bolt still face up. Known card in hand.
Yeah.
Well, now
Exile Spirit Guide.
Oh, okay. Hard casting Fury.
Yes.
Okay, hard casting a Fury. Deal 4 damage to another Goyf. It will live, and then Ed will pass the turn. 1 card in hand, just a Lightning Bolt. Cycling Street Wraith. Looks like Herman drew another Death Shadow. Signorna says it boggles the mind that the Arena of Glory has not been wasted.
yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Sure.
Your turn.
Untap. Keep drawing. Third wasteland.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure wasting the arena is high priority, unless there's something I'm forgetting.
I didn't violate this, did I? No, never.
That's what I was thinking.
No, that other turn. Dispatch priority.
New to Fear says good evening from Germany. Good afternoon from New York.
I'm gonna Impending Overlord of the Belmark.
Impending Overlord of the Belmark.
16. You're at 13.
13?
Yeah, I guess Goblin Welder or Goblin Engineer with haste could be a problem, so I know I'm making a good point, maybe. Bowmaster is retrieved by Overlord of the Belmark. If you watch our streams often or watch our YouTube channel often, Sinorna in the chat usually offers some really good observations on things going on. Sinorna in the chat, that is.
Okay.
Overlord of the Belmark removed a counter. It's now at 4. And Urza's Saga comes in. Orc Army and Bowmaster and a Waste of Saga.
I'm casting no blows.
Yeah, maybe Herman does need to kill that that Arena of Glory, huh? But the Wasteland was used on Saga. So maybe this whole time Wasteland was just respecting Saga. But maybe Arena of Glory, if we're going to try and predict how this game ends, could be the way Ed pulls it off. This Grindstone getting activated is good, too, because if Ed mills that Brazen Borrower, Herman could be in pretty big trouble. The Overlord complicates things, but... Okay, there's Agatha's Soul Cauldron. That could be a way to stop Brazen Borrower from being brought back by the Belmark. So that's covered now.
Like, if I'm ever attacking with him, you're probably dead.
Yeah. I lost.
Yeah, the Belmark's unlikely to ever get a chance to attack in this game, too. And if it does, as Ed just pointed out, it will probably mean that Ed has already lost the game. But let's say if there's another Overlord that gets impended or something. Okay, Grindstone gets activated again. Force Daze. Those are the same color. Brainstorm. Thoughtseize, not the same color. Herman, not that many cards left in the deck. Cannot find this Brazen Borrower.
You have a welder.
There's Goblin Welder. Uh-oh.
6 mana. Okay. Good. You need to know what that does.
Just passes the turn with the Welder. Interesting.
That's an maniac.
I drew it.
It's like a
Yeah,
Drew the Brazen Borrower, attempting to petty theft the bridge. Red Elemental Blast.
Alright,
probably.
And that is the game. Ed gets the game. Okay. An unexpected ending, I guess. Ed gets it. Yeah, the exert on Welder was missed.
Yeah, that's like when you're like 15 years old, like next summer.
Herman will be on the play for game 2.
I had it with Britney's shit.
Yeah. During the school year is fine, but
School year girlfriend.
yeah, school year.
I'm gonna play.
The poor psychic frog.
Good luck.
If only they had put the cute art on the worst card.
Yeah.
Limited band. I don't think that card was like designed to be a chase rarity. I think it was just like a joke psychic aggro.
Herman getting ready to go. Game 2. Game 1 came down to just trying to get that ensnaring bridge removed and couldn't do it in time. And Ed had the unlocked Welder on the following turn to win the game. Watery Grave to start. Both players kept 7. Thoughtseize. All right, we're going to get to see Ed's hand. Simian Spirit Guide, Lightning Bolt, Goblin Engineer, Phyrexian Dragon Engine, 2 Mountains, and a Great Furnace. Engineer selected, that makes sense.
Go ahead.
First one.
Draw. Saga.
Will this game come down to another ensnaring bridge? Ensnaring bridge was really good in that game. It saved. It won Ed the game, basically. It took the game a long time to close, but that ensnaring bridge was basically game winning. Fetch Shock. Herman reducing his own life total quickly. Down now to 13. The number that Death Shadow cares about. There's another Watery Grave.
How does that work again? Sacrifice a creature and then it does night?
Yeah.
Okay.
These Death Shadow decks are usually heavy on counter magic, wasteland, removal. Decks are pretty good against combo in general. Discard spells too. But Painter plays like that weird mid-range game and grinds the game to a halt with artifacts like Bridge. And Herman couldn't fight through it in game 1. Now a Goblin Engineer. That was a good draw. We saw a Goblin Engineer get Thoughtseized earlier in this game. Previous turn. Ed found another one.
I'll attack for
Take 2.
I'll attack for 2. Take 2. Yeah. I'll make it 3. I'll sack this with our own stack with the 4 damage rather.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay, Ed searching for an artifact to put into the graveyard with Goblin Engineer. What will it be this time? Phyrexian Dragon Engine is in hand. That's a card that is often chosen by the Engineer. It'll be Agatha's Soul Cauldron this time. It's an effective card against some of the stuff that Herman's doing. Saw Reanimate's in hand for Herman in game 1. We saw Nethergoyf Escape. Nethergoyf, of course, relies on Herman's graveyard having multiple types, etc. Brainstorm now for Herman. That Goblin Engineer is not ready to go yet. Still summoning sick, and Ed tapped out. But the next turn, it could potentially cause some issues.
Oh, I think it was 4 damage because of these all Let's turn.
Agatha's Soul Cauldron also potentially a signal that the Phyrexian Devourer combo with Agatha's Soul Cauldron is in this deck. Street Wraith gets cycled.
Go. Gun.
Attack it for 4. Ed is cool with it. Drops to 16. Herman drops to 9. Death Shadow, Goyf. All right, a lot of power on the board for Herman. Ed's going to need that Snaring Bridge pretty soon. There's a chance that Ed thought about putting Ensnaring Bridge in the graveyard with Engineer and didn't do it and maybe now regrets it. There's a chance. Soul Cauldron doesn't do a whole lot right now except shrink the Netherglyphs. Dragon Engine could potentially be the play, but okay, gonna Engineer, sacking Great Furnace, bring back Cauldron. Okay, so okay, Agatha's Soul Cauldron is now on the battlefield.
Draw it for turn. Cast it. Target collector. Sure. And then I'll take it for 1 lifelink.
19.
Yep, good.
Ed is holding a bolt. I've seen Dragon Engine. Okay. Exiled the Simian Spirit Guide, got an extra mana out of it. Engineer plus Dragon Engine could do some cool plays later on if this game goes that far.
I'm gonna waste your engine then.
That's fine. I'll float white, I guess.
Go to my stuff.
Draw. Crocus.
Phyrexian Dragon Engine works in a very cool way with the Welder and Engineer. All right, there's Overlord of the Belmark again. It's going to mill some cards, potentially grow these Netherglyphs. So a Ghost Vacuum and a Null Rod. Herman wanted that Null Rod, it seems. Gets back Street Wraith.
Oh, I can't.
Yeah, you have to
Yeah,
respond
you
to
got
that.
it.
Hard back chip.
Okay, so Agatha's Soul Cauldron would have needed to be activated in response to the Overlord trigger. You can't respond once a card is selected by the Belmark. Maybe Ed forgot about that, but all Herman got back was a Street Wraith. I'm not sure that's a big deal. It's going to cycle now. Netherglyphs will grow to 5 power. Death Shadow is a 6/6.
Guy.
Oh, wait, I forgot.
Block.
I'll double block play.
Go walk later.
They both die because I didn't touch.
Overlord of the Belmark, a cool card that's been added to Legacy this year from Duskmourn. And I like this card. This card's really cool. Ponder Shuffle for Herman. Didn't find what he was hoping to find.
That's true.
Cut. Draw.
We're going to see a swing for lethal here. Potentially. And Ed will be forced to chump, I believe. Ah, okay. So hanging back with 1 Netherglyph.
Counts.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe there's something I'm missing. There probably is. I'm probably missing something obvious. All right, so Netherglyph shrinks. Because the Dragon Engine will get a +1/+1 counter. It'll have 3 power with double strike. It's gonna block a Nether Goyf. Okay. Yeah. The engine could potentially swing for lethal on Ed's turn. Plus the bolt. Okay, Herman playing this tight. I would have messed this up probably. Okay, so the Nether Goyf trades with the Dragon Engine. Does have double strike, so he was able to kill the Goyf. Death Shadow got in.
I'm gonna try to reanimate your engine.
Okay, reanimating the engine. Hopefully this gets resolved correctly.
Oops, this guy fell. This guy. This goes away.
Herman drops to 4. Herman knows what's up. You do not draw from the Dragon Engine here. Impending counter removed. Pass the turn.
So only one. So does it resolve?
So now Herman has the 2/2 double striker. I'll get the Soul Cauldron has a Street Wraith, but that's not super exciting. Can bolt the Dragon Engine and use the Engineer potentially. Fury pitching the bolt. Oh, pitching Pyroblast. Okay. So Dragon Engine dies. That was a Pyroblast actually pitched to the Fury.
Gonna bolt you.
Okay.
Bolt you. Herman drops to 1.
Eat the null rod in your yard.
Sure.
Eating the Null Rod with the Soul Cauldron. Activating Engineer, sacking Soul Cauldron. Bringing back Dragon Engine. Draw 3.
I'm not lethaling you.
Still doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
Let's play a saga.
Yep.
Urza's Saga. Okay. And pass the turn. Alright, so there's a Dragon Engine on defense. Herman draws. Ed's at 10.
Sorcery.
Oh, me, remember?
I didn't realize you had the second ghost vacuum. I should have hit another ghost.
Well, it's not my deck, but this deck I played.
Okay, so the Soul Cauldron maybe should have hit Nether Goyf to remove a type from the yard. Removing Null Rod did not remove the artifact type from the yard. Ghost Vacuum was still in there.
Game 2.
Urza Saga's wasted. Slidensky wondering about a second land drop. I'm not sure which player you're referring to. I didn't notice one, but it happens. Dragon Engine blocks. Ed will drop to 5. Nether Goyf will escape. Goblin Engineer trying to prevent this Goblin Engineer from swinging for lethal. Escaping. So getting ready some cards from the graveyard. These Nether Goyfs might be smaller after that, but it seems like Herman has more than enough power. So the Nether Goyfs have 3 power. Ed draws for turn.
It was really funny because fire was on the button.
Alright. Yeah.
I made several mistakes there.
Okay, so we're moving on to game 3. Ed will be on the play for game 3. Couldn't find the Ensnaring Bridge in that game. It's possible that Ed should have found Ensnaring Bridge early on. I'm not sure. Went for the Soul Cauldron. Maybe that didn't work out. Hard to say. Looks like a die showing 6, and Ed is the one mulliganing. Seems. Okay, so Ed has kept 6. Herman has kept 7. Ready for game 3. This has been a good match. Oh, Herman put one on the bottom as well? All right, fair enough. Soul Guy Lantern. Both players kept 6. Both players kept 6. Misty Rainforest correct. Ponder. That Soul Guy Lantern is a pretty good start. It's disruptive. Reanimate stuff and the Netherglyph stuff. Soul Guy Lantern, not too bad. With Welder and or Engineer, getting back the Soul Guy Lantern could multiple times could be good.
Just like imagine if you had something that was close up and trying to figure out.
Okay, here's a Saga. Good start. Goblin Engineer. Is it going to resolve? It does. All right, so looking through the deck, I'm so curious what Ed grabs this time. So Dragon Engine is still available, as far as I know. I don't know if it's in hand. But Dragon Engine, Ensnaring Bridge we saw in Game 1 was basically the MVP of Game 1. And then Okay, so it goes for the Dragon Engine. Game 2, Ed had gone for Agatha's Soul Cauldron, but this time going for the Dragon Engine. Wasteland Hunter is a Saga. Have to respect the Saga.
Then you go back down to 9. Yeah. You use double cover flip plus move. That's so 9. I didn't know exactly what.
Okay.
No matter.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Dragon Engine will discard 4 cards to draw 3 cards. Discarding an Ensnaring Bridge, 2 Fable of the Mirror Breakers, and a Painter. Things are getting interesting. Plays a Mountain. Passes the turn. Dragon Engine is a 2-power double striker. It'll be a quick clock if it gets to attack a couple of times. Brainstorm. Ed needed mana. That hand that was discarded just didn't have mana. Goblin Engineer could potentially, if in a few turns this game goes sour, bring back that Ensnaring Bridge. But it looks like the plan right now is to attack with Dragon Engine. Tricky thing here is as you lower the the Death Shadow's life total, the Death Shadow player's life total with Dragon Engine, the Death Shadows that Herman potentially could put on the battlefield will be bigger and bigger. Okay, it looks like Engineer's getting killed here.
Hear about what Nadu does?
Go. Fatal Push hit that Engineer and sent it to the graveyard. An attack for 4 with the Dragon Engine drops Herman to 12. Simian Spirit Guide, Fable. Okay, found a Fable in the Mirror Breaker, not too bad. One card in hand for Ed.
I'm sorry that they don't know how to design magic cards anymore.
They know how to design them, they just don't know how to manage.
I mean,
Yeah.
oh sorry.
Multiple stages.
Yeah. There should be somebody at some level who is like wasn't committed.
Brainstorm right now for Herman.
Not every card said commander on it.
Herman going to be trying to look for ways to not lose this game to the Dragon Engine. It's going to be hitting for 4 every turn. Herman's at 12. And then the Goblin Shaman makes it a 2-turn clock. Trigger on the stack of Fable. Bullmaster. Okay. Ed's cool with that. Gonna deal 1 to the Dragon Engine. Okay.
Oh, I mean, I guess there are magic gathering games. I was going to say there's a D&D magic set.
Okay, Ed will not discard. Seems wise. Looks like Ed's hand has a Painter and a Red Elemental Blast. I think.
I don't think that matters, because like they like Disney is very much it's more like
Herman's hand has a Street Wraith. Is that an engineered explosives in Herman's hand? Did I see that? I think I saw an engineered explosives. I'm not sure. 1 damage marked on the Dragon Engine. It has double strike. Maybe the damage should have been dealt to the Shaman. I'm not sure. Shaman will make a treasure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Herman has a engineered explosive in hand. Gonna chump block the Dragon Engine and take 2. Okay. So the 1 damage marked on Dragon Engine, irrelevant. The double strike kills off the Orc army. Here's a Painter.
But I feel like if you, but one thing gives you the chance of being like, oh hey, it's Halloween, let's like make a theme deck for whatever. I'll make a deck for someone
People are
who's
just
just
scared
like,
of doing it.
so many
Just the
options.
fear of losing.
Okay, blue is the color named. Pass the turn.
If we weren't playing Legacy and spending all this time here, you could be thinking like, oh my god, I saw this card, it's gonna go great on my left-handed deck. Yeah. No, it's just like,
It's really funny that Commander does a lot.
Taking a look through the graveyard. No welders or engineers on the battlefield, but maybe Herman has something interesting going on. Looks like a reanimate is in hand. Okay. Cycling a Street Wraith, discarding it, drawing a card. Herman drew a Wasteland, nothing to hit with it.
Well, so that's the thing.
Which is just like, it was a standard battle box.
What's nice about Commander is that you can jump in and out. Like they need to
E on 0.
yeah, takes his backseat.
there was also one more thing.
Engineering Explosives, X is 0. So it has 0 charge counters on it. 2 mana can blow up all 0 mana value.
Player?
Yeah, or at least overwhelming.
Lower one, like it's more than 90%. Legacy is maybe like 4.
I just feel like the Sunburst mechanic was a mistake.
I'm lying. There's like 2 or 3 people here. There's LAD and there's very much.
So was Unearth and Amass.
Yeah, I mean, I think that also the New York Magic Singers service.
But that doesn't matter.
Cycling was a mistake.
For them, like 100 people, there was like,
Sagas were a mistake. This frickin' game. Goblin Shaman and the treasure go away. Engineering Explosives is sacrificed.
but even when I was in MTG for 5 years,
Okay, now a fatal push on the Dragon Engine. Was Converge a mistake? Of course it was. Converge was a big mistake.
okay, I could actually be okay with just playing Command.
Name one Magic player that likes the Converge mechanic.
Yeah, well, obviously, if I was
Okay, Reflections of Kiki Jiki now face up. Red Blast on Death Shadow. Death Shadow down. Painter attacks, drops Herman to 7.
Never, including casual, including with friends, played or played adjacent to a good and 2 of the people weren't trying really hard to win. And to the point of like getting salty when something doesn't go their way.
Bowmaster attacks. Ed drops to 19. Reanimate on the Shadow. Now dropping to 6. Pass the turn. 7/7 Shadow. It's going to be an interesting race. Pyroblast, okay. That was a good draw.
Or is it like, how do I build a data deck? Somebody next to us was like,
This is going to be tight.
how you control it.
Herman drops to 5.
Llanowar Elves and Gargos if it doesn't watch here. That deck was actually pretty
Okay, Ghost Vacuum's not too bad. Doesn't do a lot right now, but it's not too bad. There's a land. Okay, Dragon Engine gets exiled. Makes sense. It will be available for the vacuum, I guess. End step, copying Painter.
It was extremely uninviting.
I was thinking about playing.
Chris will be very
Not necessarily what that was, but it just felt like
I'll be banned.
nobody had any patience for me.
No cards in hand.
New York.
Players joking about this copy token being a complete failure. Attacking for 4.
Some uncompetitive, but not insane.
If yours is an FNM and yours
Block, I'll take 2.
Okay, chump blocking the Reflections of Kiki-Jiki, taking 2, dropping to 3. Brainstorm. That's a thumbs up.
And it was post-COVID.
Right now is a good time.
It was post-COVID, and living in was like, you had the peak of it being living in. It was like pretty. Anyway, everybody was like playing that.
Ah, Death Shadow. Okay. That's pretty good defense. Reflections of Kiki-Jiki is tapped for now. Pass the turn.
I had like rooms. I think I was not playing the same game as everybody else.
A lot of grinders just playing Graces is kind of like always there.
Just passing the turn. Ghost Vacuum gets tapped. Bowlmaster exiled. Is Ghost Vacuum ultimating at some point in this game could be interesting. Thinking about swinging with Death Shadow. Murktide. Action Gordon thought this play was going to be nuts. It is kind of nuts. At 3 life, Herman is presenting enormous threats on the board now.
This is pre-sticker goblin. He had to bring a goblin trash master and had a chance against me.
And then the Ghost Vacuum next turn could pop if Herman gets another land. End step, copying Painter.
But like, I had my deck at the time was insane. It was Alan Fringe and like everyone was so.
Lightning Bolt off the top ends the match. Ed gets it. Had a Fury in hand. Wow. GG's. Lightning Bolt ends the match.